Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have an article from Business Insider and a video from the Russians showing a Leopard 2 tank, a German fantastic tank being blown up by a cheap Russian drone. And Business Insider uses such a tone that shows so much anger and so much frustration and envy, jealousy. It shows on which side obviously they are, with the victim, and in this case Ukraine is the victim. Now let me show you the title first. Business Insider today, June 10th, 2023. Russians are cheering defeats of Western-made tanks. Their optimism may prove premature. Well, so obviously so far the Russians are blowing up a lot of tanks and Bradley's vehicles, armored vehicles, on camera. Okay, so are the Russians supposed to be crying because of that? Of course they're cheering, and they're cheering also. Their morale is improving or grows day by day because the Ukrainian counteroffensive did not achieve its goal, which was, and I will tell you in a second, and says their optimism may prove premature. This is, wishful thinking. You don't know that. Could, but could not. If you want to look at the empty glass, yes, you can put this right here, which Business Insider wants to look at the empty glass. But if someone wants to look at it differently, say, well, let's wait. Don't say, oh, premature and so on. So what happened? As you know, an attack, you want to do it as a surprise attack. Why? Because the surprise effect helps. Obviously, the Ukrainians did not want to disclose when they're going to have the counteroffensive for obvious reasons. Why? Because the surprise effect, will help. So if you don't tell me when you're going to counterattack or you're going to attack, and you attack me and I'm surprised, and you don't succeed, so that means you did not caught me, unprepared. The more you attack and you can't break the, my defensive lines, that really tells me, after 5 days already, that tells me the surprise effect is gone. That's why you didn't tell me, because you bet on that one, that would help you. And it would help. You bring everything plus the surprise. The surprise is gone because, according to the Russians, the Ukrainians started their offensive on Sunday, 6 days ago. The Ukrainians, just today, the guys in charge of Ukraine, which is Zelensky supposedly, he came today with his weasel counterpart, whatever he is, Trudeau, and said the counteroffensive is taking place right now. So he finally said it after a week that we knew. And this week, the surprise effect is gone. The Russians blew up a lot of Leopard 2, the most sophisticated German tanks, dozens of them or more. They destroyed a lot of Bradley US-made armored vehicles, the top of the line, blown them up, again, by the dozens. These guys are not breaking the Russians' defenses. So what are the Russians supposed to do? Cry? Business Insider asks us to say, yes, you should be crying because it's coming. Well, they were supposed to in the first day, the second day. Remember the Japanese. I have two examples to give you what the Japanese did to the Russians in 1904 in the Tsushima Straits. And the other one was obviously on December 7th, 1941. Remember that one? And obviously in Pearl Harbor. They used the attack, the surprise attack. And both times, the Japanese were successful. The first day, they went in Tsushima and they sank the Russian fleet, the Tsar's fleet, 1904. And therefore, the Russo-Japanese war ended with the victory of Japan, and Russia was humiliated. It could not transfer forces and all that. 1904, what do you expect? So they lost. Now, the Americans were kicked in the balls in December 7th, 1941 in Pearl Harbor. But the Americans, different times, and different power, and so on. So they them up, including to atomic bombs. So the same thing the Ukrainians tried that right now. They didn't disclose for obvious reason, normal reasons, and it's been already 6 days. So what are the Russians supposed to do? Start crying, we're winning, but not celebrate yet. Why? This, guys, is that more days are going without the Ukrainian, breaking the defensive lines of the Russians. The more they go, the least success they will have. And then the more the morale of the Russians will go, because first one was the first attack. That was the biggest with everything plus the surprise effect. Now let's go and see what these weasels are saying here, so you can see what kind of words they use. A terrifying video captures a Russian drone attack on a German-made Leopard tank below. It was Leopard 2 tank, just so you know, and it's gonna say below. So a terrifying, guys. Please go to your safe spaces, because I'm gonna play this terrifying video. I don't want you to have any problems tonight, you know what I mean? So Russians cheered these defeats. What are they supposed to cry or something? Some believe they are signs Ukraine's counteroffensive is a failure. So far it is. It's a fact. They may yet be disappointed. I don't know. So far it's good. Ukraine's counteroffensive has just begun. Yes, but I explained to you the surprise effect. Otherwise they would have gave the date, the place, the time, and everything. But they didn't. Why? Because they thought that's going to work in their favor. It didn't. It doesn't mean they could not break the front. No, I'm not saying that. But the chances are diminishing. All right. So let's see what's going on. Here's what they say. Very interesting. Unexpectedly from Business Insider. Scenes from the front lines of the Ukraine war have recently looked dire for Ukraine's forces as their counteroffensive gets underway, and this is important, I didn't expect them to say this, including pile-ups of damaged or wrecked tanks and fighting vehicles. I didn't expect this, I gotta tell you that. One terrifying video, go and get your Xanax, go and get your wine, go and get a woman, and then after you do that, you watch the video, okay? One terrifying video captures a Russian loitering drones attack on a German-made Leopard 2 tank below. The hit is real, but the full damage isn't shown and couldn't be independently assessed. You and I, my friends, are gonna assess it because that tank is out of service. All right, but again, Business Insider had to cover. So let's watch the video. Let me give you some information. First, you're gonna see the video, the footage from the drone hitting it in a different frame, and then you're gonna see a drone coming from south here, from the south, according to the image, from here hitting the tank and blowing the shit out of the tank. Ready? Let's put this at the beginning. Go. So this is we are safe here, la 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 la, let's hide, they don't know where they are, where we are. Boom. Now you're gonna come from the below, from the south, the white stuff, not that stuff. Boom. Now do you think that tank will be functional? I don't think so. But hey, Business Insider thinks otherwise. We can't assess the damage. I think that's out of commission. Why? Just imagine a few chips being blown up. A few chips being blown up, that means you can't even know where the hell you're at nowadays. So again, Plyosk, and then coming from the south, again, boom. That's it. That's it. Now, if you think that, what, are the Russians supposed to cry about it? And I was looking here to see, how much damage the Russians inflicted, how many, but I think there were a few Leopards, many dozens of Bradleys, and other than that, it doesn't say what's going on here. That optimism may be misplaced. What are you talking about? The guys did not reach their goal. What are they supposed to be? The counteroffensive is about 6 days in. Thank you very much. Ukraine is advancing in its east and has made limited gains in Zaporozhye, gains that could be built upon in successive waves. So they led us with this stupidity, which is too early to talk. As I said, You didn't do it the first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day, the fifth day. But maybe not. Maybe it's coming back up because the Russians could be also, you know, depleted of their forces, and these guys maybe gonna have a breakaway or breakthrough the defensive lines. Nevertheless, so far, the fantastic Leopard 2 tanks were blown up like chips. And bring the Abrams tanks. Abrams. Do you think those will function differently? They're gonna be the same thing. You're gonna have a cheap $20,000 or $7,000 drone hitting a millions of dollars tanks. All right, well, send it. Who's gonna build it? You and I. For whom? For Ukrainians to defend our freedoms and values. And stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.